Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We're making progress.
Right?
29 today? 28. 30th.
Make a motion that we approve the non-public meeting minutes 1, 2, 3, 4 of March 26th, and 1, 2, and 3 for April 2nd.
Can we just do this first one,
Okay.
please? I think you want to do April 2nd regular meeting.
I did them both together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Could we, I need to make a quick change.
Okay.
And do it here, you said. It was just, we'll find, let's just do the first 1, 2, and 3 from the 6th. Because I have to change.
Just 1, 2, 3, not 4.
For us and for
I'll make a motion to approve non-public minutes for March 26th, 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
Second.
Do you have copies of these?
I don't. Those
Okay.
were before.
There's, on meeting number 2, there's a clause in there, elevator clause, and it's actually escalator clause. I'll give this to you,
Okay.
so you have it. Everybody all right with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just a
Make a
minute.
motion.
Hello. Just a minute. Yeah.
Make a motion that we approve the non-public meeting 1, 2, and 3 for April 2nd, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I do want to go back to the regular meeting minutes for April 2nd.
Okay. Make a motion that we reopen the minutes from April 2nd.
You ready with that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Right. In public input, Jim Jarzabek had mentioned a parcel that's town-owned, and the minutes reflect that it appeared there was no water frontage. It should actually be no road frontage. It does have water frontage, but it doesn't have road frontage.
Was that the one that wasn't on?
Yeah, the ball then.
Yeah, because we couldn't
Make
make
a
it.
motion that we amended.
Okay, you all right with that?
Yes.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. What was that, Jim?
That's because we couldn't do nothing about it, could not, because we had no
Right.
access.
Yeah, we don't have road frontage. Consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Anything to add to it, Laura?
I don't have anything.
All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Public input. Michael?
I'm all set for now.
You are? Garrett, how about you?
I got nothing.
All right. Adam, welcome.
Hello.
Tell us about the TIF district.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys prefer me here or there?
Whichever's convenient for you.
Oh, that shit's on there.
All right, everything I'm going to say was in the TIF financing plan, specifically the West Swanzey Tax Increment Financing District. Mike and I, prior to his departure, put together a development program and financing plan. The first part of my spiel here comes directly from that, so excuse me if I'm repeating information from the packet. I just want to be thorough. The primary focus of this discussion is that we need to set up a West Swanzey TIF District Advisory Board. Because the TIF was approved on the warrant article, that's the next step in this process. We are not rushing like we were going to because the water purchase didn't go through. So this is more so just like we need to implement the board and we need to set goals for the board. So when we figure out a solution for water and sewer, we can move forward with that advisory board. So as you guys know, on March 11th, town voted to establish the West Swanzey Tax Increment Financing District. That's in accordance with RSA 162K. I'm not going to read the RSA here because it is very long. The statute authorizes the Board of Selectmen, this body, to appoint a district administrator and a 5-member advisory board. Per the financing plan, the district administrator would tentatively be the town administrator. But we probably should have another discussion at a later date on that. Any questions so far?
Why?
Why?
Why would we have a discussion at a later date?
Oh, we can have a discussion today if you guys want. Sure. Yeah, it's not going to be a long discussion, I don't think. So in accordance with that RSA, the Board of Selectmen shall create by resolution a West Swansea TIF District Advisory Board. This board delineates its advisory roles and responsibilities. The advisory board shall consist of 5 members appointed by the board. Advisory board members shall serve for a term of 3 years, and there shall be no limitation on the number of terms a member may serve. Terms will be staggered upon initial creation of the advisory board. Majority of members shall be owners or occupants of real property within Swanzey, and at least 1 member shall be owner or occupant of real property within the districts. So I have an idea of who that member should be. I think I have a short list of people. When I was talking to Alex, who helped me create this document, him and I were bouncing around some names. Nicoforakis came to mind. He owns some property within the TIF district, most notably the old property that Nick's sits on, sitting vacant at the moment, but he also owns the parcel next to Nick's. So he owns a couple of big parcels in the district. And then 4 other members who need to own property in the district. When I was discussing this with
I'll go
Alex,
back over that. I thought it was the majority.
oh, in the district?
Yeah.
Only 1 needs to be in the district. The other 4 can be property owners in Swansea.
But they all have to be either property owners or residents. They don't have to be residents.
Let me,
Is the majority residents, and which would be 3, with the potential for 2 business owners to live elsewhere?
majority of the members shall be owners or occupants of real property within Swansea. So the way I read that is that they can either own, it can be owners or renters. I'm not sure how that would work logistically on the renting side, but as long as they occupy property in Swansea, they can be on the board.
Is that something that was drafted by Alex and yourself, or was that off the statute?
It's off the statute.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're
I just
fine.
want to make sure I understand.
Yeah.
So we need 1 person who is an actual resident and owner of property in the district.
Yep.
And that's why you're recommending George.
Yep.
Farakis.
But then he lives in the district, doesn't he? That's a rental property.
He owns property in the district, though.
Yeah, but if he was saying resident.
Well, of the town.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a resident of the town, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I
Okay,
didn't
so,
know that. I thought he didn't live in Swansea, so.
we'll find out.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So we're picking 1 individual that both owns property in the district and lives in the town.
At least,
Right.
Yeah.
At least 1.
yep.
And then we need to have a total of 3 who live in,
4.
4.
I thought it was the majority.
So it's a 5-member board.
I thought you said majority.
Hold on, let me go over this again. Terms will be staggered upon initial creation of the advisory board. Yes, you're right. A majority of the members shall be owners or occupants of real property within Swansea, and at least 1 member shall be an owner or occupant of it. That does read a bit strange. So we could probably have 1 member who is not an owner occupant of Swansea property. I have some names for that role. Most of the people I would suggest were on the TIF advisory board, not the TIF advisory board, the West Swansea TIF districts committee, yes. I would suggest all of those names, and there's 1 person on that board who is not an owner of property in Swansea, which is key. So that would probably be the only one that I can think of.
He's had a lot of experience with water.
Exactly.
Construction in general.
Okay, he's helped get a lot of tips off the ground, and keen too as well, if I remember correctly. So that would probably be the only one. I think the board would be open to suggestions of another one, I'm assuming. But we would need to establish the board first. So let's go over what the role of the board would be, at least in my opinion. The role of the advisory board would be limited to advising the district administrator, to the town administrator, and board of selectmen, yourselves, on planning, construction, and implementation of the development program, and on maintenance and operation of the district after the program has been completed. Let's go over that in more detail. So, primary goal of this memo is to go over the goals of the advisory board in the first year. So I imagine when we establish the advisory board 1 calendar year later. It's going to be longer than that because, again, we don't have a solution for the water and sewer because the water purchase fell through. So we're not moving as quickly as we thought we might need to. So the first goal of the advisory board of the first year would be public education on the TIF districts. Again, this is all my opinion, and Alex helped write this too, so kind of a joint opinion here. Top priority should be educating the public on the opportunities that a TIF district can offer and impact that development could have on town. The thought here is that the more educated Swanzey residents are of the benefits of the TIF district, the more successful we would be in future elections on any articles that might be affecting the TIF. Any thoughts on that? First goal. Education, number one. Get the people educated. Spend some time maybe on workshops and the like. So, number two, engagement with experienced entities. Very broad, but my thought is we need to look at people who have experience in tax increment financing districts. Which is why we suggested Keith. It's why we would maybe suggest Mr. Biddle, who has experience in our other TIF. The advisory board should seek out knowledgeable external entities and individuals that have successfully implemented TIF districts in other communities in New Hampshire. Their expertise can provide valuable insights and guidance. So they might not be members of the board itself, but we should at least reach out to them and have them speak to the board at a meeting or two, just to give some insights, tips and tricks, what a successful district looks like, etc. Number three, showcasing potential projects and area of vision. So in its efforts to educate the public, the advisory board should highlight potential projects that would benefit from the TIF. For example, the advisory board could take project ideas from the town plan and work on visual aids or financial models that could help community members understand what's possible. This could include small group meetings, site visits in the field, meetings with property owners in and outside of the district. A good example of this would be maybe doing a site walk of that vacant lot next to Nick's. Maybe envisioning what could go there, possibilities of a site like that, with water and sewer, that is, which is why this might be a little bit longer of a process. But the goal is they do have sewer there, okay, so water is the main problem then. So the goal of this is to get boots on the ground in the district, looking at the site, seeing what's possible, and go from there. I think it's important to kind of try to envision what Route 10 could look like with this district in mind. And then the last goal would be infrastructure improvements without water company purchase. So, given that the purchase of the West Swanzey Water Company did not pass, the advisory board could or should explore what infrastructure improvements are feasible. They should also consider how the TIF can encourage development without the acquisition of the water company. So without acquiring that water company, what can we do to improve the district and its infrastructure? And so that would be more of a long-term goal of the board, and it would be a really important goal too.
Well, we might be looking at the sewer upgrades that are going to be necessary based on the study coming back
Yeah,
in the fall.
no, in the fall. So I'm guessing year 2 will be very, very intense with that workload, which is why we should try to find members who are not scared to work a bit. And that's all I have. Short and sweet. Summary, we just need to set up an advisory board. 5 members, majority, owner, and occupier of property in Swanzey. districts, I recommend Mr. Nick Krakis. He was on the West Swanzey, he was on the TIP board when we were setting this up. So he has experience with this specifically. I'm sure we could think of other names from the districts. There's a lot of businesses along Route 10, so that's not the only name, it's just one. So, happy to answer any questions. This was a joint effort between myself, Mike, Alex, so I'm not the only one that can answer questions, but I will try.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to dispense with the discussion on deputy and maybe the district administrator and the town administrator. Is there any reason to have a discussion?
I don't think so. I mean, Lori, do you have any experience with tax and finance districts? I don't either, so I don't think you can be alone in this.
I have some good resources in mind, so.
Okay. So you wouldn't be alone in this. I'd be right there with you. So maybe you and I will be learning together. Yep.
So do we have to motion on that, or we, you okay? You good with that?
Yeah, did you say, tell me about the 3 years, there's one, it's a 3-year commitment with the,
Yep.
and then you said staggered, so how do you stagger when you build it from day one?
I was hoping you guys knew, honestly. So my thought is 3-year stagger terms,
Put somebody on for a year, put somebody on for 2, 3, right, couple on for 2, a couple on for whatever, right? I mean, 'cause that's,
Yeah. So I think if you were to motion anything today, I think maybe you would just have to agree on the administrator of the district and the creation of the advisory board. Obviously, we're not going to be creating the board with the members because they're not here to talk about it. So I think this would be a good opportunity to motion for the acceptance of the board and the acceptance of the administrator, and then maybe the next couple selectmen meetings, we can try to get some people in to talk.
get the full group in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see why not. I think we
I think that's a great idea.
Maybe
It's a
around.
good plan.
we can round up 5 people
Sure.
by next week, maybe. Oh, 2 weeks. We'll do 2
You always
weeks.
got something up your sleeve. You always.
Yeah, I can make some phone calls
Good
tomorrow.
So what you would like is a motion that appoints Lori as the district administrator, and you would like authorization to, or you want us to authorize the establishment of the TIF district with 5 members.
I think that would be acceptable for today.
District, is it a board or a committee?
It is West Swanzey, oh God, sorry. West Swanzey TIF Advisory Board. Yeah, it's a long one. If you want to change the name, now you can.
No.
It's pretty straightforward. Lori, what are your thoughts on this? This kind of all started before we even knew Mike was leaving, and then December passed, January passed, and then he got his new job, and then we had Alex in the interim. You're just kind of coming into this.
We
And,
gotta start somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a big rush, it's not under the economy, not that we can take
Yeah.
the time. It's-
So, and this is probably the best case scenario, I mean, because the water company
Correct.
just didn't pass. I think we can both just kind of dip our feet in and, figure it out,
Do some research.
do some research, and again, it's gonna be, I'm gonna be right there with you. We have Cordell, we have multiple resources in Swansea for this type of district, so I don't think we're gonna be too over our heads on this.
What role did the planner play with the Stafford Drive TIF?
Don't know. I tried to find documentation. That was 10 years ago, correct? Or was it longer now?
Probably 20 years ago, coming up now.
If I had to guess,
The district was formed in 97.
oh, okay. Maybe we can call Sarah. But if I had to guess, it would be the creation of. No, they didn't create the map. They hired that out.
Would you act as the staff liaison?
I can. I'm happy to do that.
'Cause a lot of it would involve planning
Mhm.
and whatever applications are coming in for new development.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. because we taken applications for Sapper Drive, and it's no different than doing that and seeing how it fits in the district. So yes, I will do that. I made the map for this district, so I know it pretty intimately, and I know what the numbers look like. So yes, I think I can do that.
So you want the motion that would include the town administrator becoming or renamed as the district administrator, and the authorization to move forward to create the advisory board.
It sounds acceptable. It sounds correct. If it's not correct, I'm sure we can pull Cordell, but I think that sounds right.
Yes.
Make a motion that we make the town administrator, Lori, the administrator of the West Swanzey TIF district, and to establish the TIF district advisory board.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Would you be able to either come back next week or provide Lori the staggered terms that
Yeah.
you're proposing?
I can get an answer from Cordell on those staggered terms by next week. I'll email him tomorrow, and I'll get started this week. Have a final answer by next Wednesday.
Great.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Do you need something formal from us, assigning you as a staff liaison, or?
I don't think so. It's a pretty natural thing. If I
Do you
need,
need anything from us?
So right now,
Okay.
so will you be a committee member?
I don't think so. I think,
No, it would be,
good question. Yeah, I don't think
it would be a true liaison, somebody that it may come to a meeting, may not come to a meeting, but advises the board on projects coming forward. And so, no, I don't believe that.
yeah, I'd envision it the same way we do maybe our economic development advisory committee, conservation commission, where we send them projects and then they discuss those projects as an independent body, where we can be there if we're needed, which I'm assuming we will be needed at some point. But in the early days, I think the best I can do is try to get them in contact with the right people to come talk, and until projects come in, my role will be kind of minimal, I think. But again, I think you and I are learning together on this.
So, keen as well, thank you.
Of course, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth could probably be pretty We're coming to you, Mike. Coming to you, Mike. All right, let's review.
I called them right after the meeting. I can't sit there. I'm gonna sneeze.
I thought we made a decision on our schedule for May that we're going to meet weekly except for the last week in May. Is that
Yeah, we made that decision.
last week?
Right.
There's a memo in the packet from Stephon, Mehu, the assistant town planner. It's with regard to the Connecticut River Sportsman's Club. Did you each have an opportunity to review it?
I read it, but could you break it down a little better for me? I mean, I kind of had time to really get me a hold of yourself thing. There's a lot of history with that.
I think the gist of it is we have no input.
Okay.
What's ongoing now is
It's
between,
not gonna do with states.
yeah,
The
with
state
the,
is involved in all the paperwork has to be caught up.
correct,
That's what I got out.
yeah.
Good.
So he stated, you initiated this, Jim initiated this last year with Mr. O'Brien, and Stephon took it on and he pursued it through, so it's really more advisory. Standard operating procedure for public access to town hall. I didn't have an opportunity to review it. I did late ask Lori to help with regard to section number 1.
What page is that on?
Oh,
Oh, you did?
Look right there.
Oh, my God. I found it, like. All right.
Will not have a chance to edit that.
Well, what is you gonna edit?
Well, I was asking her if she could help us with section 1, and maybe you guys pretty good understanding of section 2, but section 1 wasn't all that clear to me. And there was also some conversation regarding software that either all of the office is implementing. This came from Chris Levy, that he's implementing software, and I don't know if we're doing it throughout town hall, but basically it's scheduling software.
Meaning for appointments and
For
stuff like
appointments, so
that?
people can
Like
go
a
online.
calendar type thing?
They see his calendar, they can put their name in there.
Yeah, that could take a long time, right?
Yeah. Well, not, I think he's pretty well far along with that.
Oh, really?
Because it was a month ago. Would you feel more comfortable if we punted this and gave you an opportunity to talk to?
Yeah, because I haven't had a chance to, and this was all done prior to me coming, so.
All right, but let's keep it open discussion for a few minutes. I read the whole thing like that, so people are gonna come, so staff. What do you consider us here? Staff?
I consider us members of the public, basically. I think that we, if we're asking people to make appointments, we owe it to our staff to make appointments, as opposed to just stopping in. In other words, if we've got a reason to stop in, it should be important enough to let the staff member know so it can be scheduled. That's my thought.
I don't know, in one way, I disagree with it. I think that we as selectmen should be able to go to the door and say, I need to come in, I need to talk to Laurie for a minute, and then she can't, I understand that. But, and out of courtesy, I think I would call anyways, Laurie, you got a minute for me? But I don't think we should put it in writing. I think we should leave it out. I think we should have the ability to pop in the town hall and say hello, or just pop in the town hall, you know? Maybe not, I don't know. I'm listening, I'm gonna hear you out.
You know, I kind of agree with Jimmy. We're not the public though, I mean, we're like the boss, so the boss should be able to go, if I need to speak to Lori, and I agree with Jimmy, I would call in to any of them beforehand, I wouldn't just stop in, or if whatever, Heather or Megan called me and said, hey, can you stop by? I would let them know that I'm here to see, and I have an appointment, but I think we should be able to just.
I don't know, I think we should be eliminated from that, I do, I think that we should, and I don't think any of us would abuse that. I don't think we're the type of people that are gonna walk in, or anybody that is a good selectman. I think if I wanted to talk to Laurie, I'd pick up the phone and say, hey Laurie, I was thinking about something right at one, you say, yeah Jimmy, I got a free moment. But for me to go by and say, oh, I'm gonna pop in and just take a walk through, maybe say hello or something, and I had no appointments, for me to be backed away, I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with that. As a selectman, and I think we're the people that oversee things, I mean, I don't know. What's you don't feel that?
No, I don't think, unless it's an emergency, I don't see any reason why we can't call ahead and make sure they have time in their schedule. But I'm more than happy to be the thorn between two roses. I have no problem.
I personally, in my opinion, I don't think the selectmen should get involved in this at all. I think we
I
should
feel
be.
like you are cognizant of the employee's time. I mean, I have to say, I've only been there for 3 days, but, and I know you guys have stepped up to the plate huge, with my being gone, but I've heard a few of the staff say that they enjoy seeing you guys pop in, so.
I get that a lot of feedback. Like, I go down to town, I go down to Public Works, I pop in, hey guys, I'm ready to bring coffee for the guys, show my things, say hello. They all compliment, that's great. We really never had a selectman come in and just say hello. You know, I think they want to see leadership that walks around, just to say hello. I enjoy sometimes just going in and saying, hey, how's your day going, or something, or something small, you know what I mean? I just don't want to feel that I'm not allowed in there unless notify everybody that I'm coming. You know, I think it's not needed to be put in there. That's what I would say. You know, I don't think anybody's going to abuse this, but I don't think we need to put selectmen have to make appointments to walk into the town hall. I just don't think it sounds right. Why would the selectmen need permission from that, like an appointment? That's our house. That's our house. Do you know what I mean?
This is
Right.
April's house.
It's like asking the president, make an appointment if you want to go to the White House. I'm not saying that, but I
We
mean,
don't quite have that level.
I know, but I just don't think we need to put that in there, that's all I'm saying, so.
I understand,
I understand Bill's point of view too.
because there are a lot of interruptions throughout the day.
Bill's got a great
that
point.
You already are cognizant of that.
And I do see your point, but I'm not saying that, but I just don't think we need it in writing, I don't think we need it there, I don't think the staff needs to feel that. That means the staff can tell me they can't, that means I can't go in there, I mean, staff don't wanna see a selectman, they can say, I don't have time for it.
That's true. That's when you go to the town administrator and say, what the heck's going on?
I can't get in the playroom with this guy, I called 3 times, you know?
It happened with me, and I can say, I'm sorry, Jimmy, I have to prioritize my things to come back later.
See you next week, try again next week, and then I'm screwed.
So I'm fine with y'all's opinion. That's fine.
Okay.
That's a simple thing. I'm more interested in the dynamics
Yeah.
of it.
Okay.
So that part can be left off. Makes a lot of sense. Also, we have the opportunity, if we do go to the online system, we have the ability to go on our phone and hit their calendar, look what they've got available, shoot them a text. I mean, put
I love
that in there. So it would
It's
be
so professional, it's so perfect. I think it's great. I just didn't think we had the ability to go that far with this. I'm excited to hear this. And this is the first I heard of this, actually on the calendar. I think that really upgrades us.
because of our new town administrator. She's bringing in an amazing number of ideas on ways
Is
that
this
we can
your
make it
idea?
into the 20th century.
This was Alice.
No, I'm talking about the calendar.
Oh,
Yes.
The calendar was,
Yeah, she talked to me about it last week. So anyway, I personally am confused by section number 1. I think section number 2 is a little more explained. Also, Michael, in terms of committee and board members, department heads, some committee and board members go to the town hall and get their agendas and their packets.
Yes, and sometimes we go down to see the big map, like, next week we got 2 applications coming in. We like to see the big plan.
Yeah.
So we like to spend a little time in the conference room there, going over it. That way we've already looked at it, so it takes, the meeting goes a little bit faster, a little bit better.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen at the window where the greeter is, they'll have packets available. So if you wanted to, if you don't print it, if you didn't print out your own, I don't know whether you do or not, but if you did, you could go to town hall and they would hand you a packet. If you wanted to get into the conference room, you could just let Adam know that you're coming and then they would buzz you through. And you'd be able to go, there's trustees of the trust funds, they meet there, so that would be scheduled.
Yeah, that'd be fine, because, the people who have a lot of work to do there, and the more we interrupt them. That's why when I did go before, I tried to make my business fairly short out.
but you're one of the rare ones.
Well, except for I used to get Mike in the corner once in a while.
But that's a good point, Billy, but you could go in there, use the conference room, put your maps out, just give Adam a heads up and get you come in, because that was brought up in the last planning board meeting with Scott. He
Yeah,
brought that up.
that's what
I
we do.
didn't answer, I said, I can't answer that until we get to it now.
What we do is we try to get Scott and whoever else on the board wanted to go there all that day at the same time.
That's right.
So it's
You gotta
not,
schedule
it's
it.
not kind of people going there all day long doing it.
You gotta be careful.
Right.
Not too many of you guys,
If
please.
they
Well,
have
Scott and I,
if 4 people showed up, now they've got a quorum.
Yeah. No more than 2 at a time.
I think they could do 3.
Is it 2?
Yeah, but then-
It's more safe.
I feel good with 2.
Yeah.
It's usually Scott and I that want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon or Friday between 8 and 12, great time to look at plans, because no one's in that conference room. You and I need that.
I'll give you a buzz before I come over anyway.
Sounds good.
I'll try
What
to-
else is that conference used for, like, give me an example.
Trustees,
Lori is when she meets with people, she'll be meeting
You
in the
go in
conference
there?
room.
interviews sometimes.
Ah. So it's more, that room's more important than I thought, I never knew how much we used that. I just thought it was a dead spot, really. It really is. Huh. Good. So we're gonna table it maybe and let her fine tune it a little better,
Give her a chance to really go through it.
and then we'll go with it. What is the schedule on the bill? Where are we with that?
June,
June.
sometime in June.
Sometime
There's an
in
8-week lead time.
And it's all ready to go, approved, everything should be good out.
Yeah. So we're gonna hold off on that motion. Next is the purchase of new laptops, and these were recommended by our IT team, Twin Bridges. Or do you wanna fill us in on those and what you learned? So here, it's right there. Page 20, was it 29?
Three separate pages.
Actually, Adam is here, actually, so he could explain his. I think they have been using a tablet, right? A tablet. But before, I think you had a laptop.
This is all I had.
Okay,
That's right.
okay, but it's not very resourceful for you.
Well, it's kind of an opportune situation, not really, but HR needs a workstation for onboarding. There's apparently failed. If they had one, it failed. If they didn't have one, they need one. They would like to repurpose my tablet for that purpose. And then as a replacement, I would be getting a laptop. Because I find myself in this position a lot. And this keyboard doesn't really work when I'm on my lap like this. So it's just a situation where someone needs a tablet. I have a tablet I don't like. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we're gonna upgrade Megan to that. You get a new laptop.
Yeah.
How does Joe DeRusso fit in?
He's also in. yeah,
Joe's
he's also
laptop
in.
Joe's,
is not functioning properly. You
okay.
can't use the screens that he has and can't take it home.
It's basically a replacement.
Yep.
Oh, that's a replace, so that's two. 1, 2.
And the trustees is a replacement also.
Oh, the trustee.
Yours is 8 years old and it's beyond being able to be upgraded.
So they're all laptops?
They are. I asked what their remanufactured, that they're all HPs, I guess, but I asked what the remanufactured was, and it sounds like, he did email me, I'm sorry, I don't have my email on my phone, otherwise I'd read it to you, but basically it sounds like that's what they do. They take whatever, it's not very old, but I don't know, they basically use things to remanufacture this one, but it's not old. That was the gist I got of it. And he said that's how they've always.
Yeah, that's what they do.
They do that
Police
for
department,
every.
computers at the police department, will be manufactured as well. The computers that they brought in that replaced the old computers were remanufactured.
Oh, these ain't brand new, these are.
Correct.
These are like,
Right.
redone, clean, and.
So Joe's was remanufactured. They
Oh,
all
that's why
are.
we're getting it for 2,000?
They all are.
Yeah.
Every
Well, 'cause
computer
it just,
that.
it struck me, one was 1,400 and the other
Me
is
too,
22.
Which is why
And
I asked
24,
him
wow.
what that meant, right.
Different components on the inside. Alan's more well versed in this kind of thing. I just need to do different work than the trustees need to do. And then Joe needs to do different work than either of us need to do. And that just requires different internals.
Yeah, the trustees is, probably doesn't need as much as
Yeah.
stuff as Joe would and you.
Yeah, one's a 16-inch, one's a 14.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, Joe's is a 16, is it? And Adam's is a 14?
Yeah. Looks like.
That was personal preference.
64.
That was the choice.
Yep.
Um,
About the same cost, I think.
Adams is a 32 gig, and the other two are 16.
How do these get paid for? Where does this money come from?
I did ask her that too, and I didn't print off the, her email traces, but, they come out of each of their, it's DPW.
3 different ones.
Yep, and planning, equipment, and I forget what the trustees name, but she did send me which line items they go to. They were all different.
I know we need to move forward with these.
And I think it sounds like I was unaware of that, the tablet would be used for.
Yeah, I think either way, HR is going to need to buy something. And so this is just a way to repurpose. Either buy one for planning or buy one for HR.
What is the cost of upgrading that to what she needs? We haven't got that far.
I don't know. I'm not sure what, I'm not sure what's
Is that-
there.
But do we know that's gonna work for what she needs?
Megan said it would work.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Are you saying we can't do it because we don't?
No, she can
Be in contact.
Yes.
Okay.
You comfortable?
I'm very comfortable with all this.
You want to make the motion?
But again, it needs to be done.
Make a motion to authorize the town administrator to purchase 3 laptops as quoted by Twin Bridges Services LLC.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'd appreciate it if we could, for the next round, we could have a firmer understanding of the difference between remanufactured and new. I seem to buy a laptop every 18 months. I haven't spent anywhere near this amount of money. Granted, I don't buy the extended warranty, so that's adding an extra $300, but $2,200 just seems a little bit different.
See?
And
Well, like you
I
said, it's the
think-
components inside, maybe yours is.
Well, nothing's more complicated than real estate, right, Michael?
Yeah, it's like business grade too, like I just purchased a new laptop and it was $700, but, they are business grade and then it looks like he breaks it down. I will ask for more clarification, but he does break it down for as far as installation, because it takes some time to set it up and stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm
And that's
sure
fair.
it's in the office.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't like you know Staples and stuff.
Oh, no, I have an IT guy.
You do have an IT guy? I thought you were
Hey,
Staples guy.
I'm not saying he doesn't go to
So it was
Staples.
Nick at Staples, I used Nick at Staples.
Nick's a good guy, I better look him up, maybe I'll get more than 18 months.
Nick takes care of me on my printers and everything.
So I'm adding something to the agenda. This was a conversation that came up with Christine today. Part of what Lori is dealing with is the transition that Alan and his son Aaron at Twin Bridges are instituting with regard to website coordination and transfer and Facebook transfer. Our current Facebook page, the one that's for the town, is one that was established by Jenna, who was 2 admins ago, maybe 3. And it's tied to somebody in Vermont. And so Alan's been trying to get a hold of that person to get it released. And the question I asked Christine is, so the second part of that is Alan is recommending that we set up a business page for the town.
It should be set up as a governmental agency, but that should be set up.
And that would give us control over it. So my question to Christine was, what's taking the time? Why don't we just let the other one go and then just move into a new one? And her answer was that what she was told is we would lose all the history of what's in there. But what's in there? It's an announcement-based Facebook page. We're not putting any real information on there other than announcements of.
Right, and we could just put out a post on the website saying, you know, the town has a new Facebook page. So we would basically lose all the followers. So anybody that's following the town of Swanzey, watching the meetings, doing whatever, they have to follow the new.
I'm not a Facebook person, so.
Yeah, I said we just start the new one, don't worry about the old one. Said it's only announcements anyway, so.
Or could we lap them, like meaning could the old one
We
be?
can't because we're not able to reach the guy that has control.
Yeah, it's really weird how you always have to have one person, you should have more than one person in control of it. Because if someone, I went through it and one at the PD, actually, they lost the like everybody deleted themselves from the admin and then nobody could get into the account. So it's just like hanging out there.
Wow.
So we have to start having to just reestablish it.
The big thing I'm concerned is notifying the people that do, you know, making sure we don't have big corruption about everybody going, oh, whatever, you just took it away, you know how that can get. So I just like to see us get a good plan of how we're gonna notify the people that are out there that this is what we're doing. Because I think it's a great idea, but I'm just concerned with, we do it right, the notification.
Yeah, we notify them on the
How do you
current one
do
we
that?
have.
The what we have, right,
And then
make
they're
an
releasing
announcement.
it there because of.
As long as we can get into that one.
Yeah, we've been using.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay. This back in, sign this up.
You want, it doesn't make any difference. It's about.
I don't go backwards,
shutter. Move forward.
Well, that's true, maybe I'm not too far with that.
You have to get some black curtains.
Yeah, actually, Joe was looking into that, so.
No, you said something, that's fine. So was there a motion to be made on that?
I think consensus.
Okay.
I don't think we really have any action items that we're working on right now. There is one more new business. I'll pass this out. This is. Anybody have land? You have land in current use?
What's that?
You have land in current use?
Oh, do I have it? No.
Oh, you don't? Okay. The state requires that roughly every 5 years, or it's referred to as every cycle, which is basically 5 years, whatever, that our records are updated by people that have their land in current use. So this document has been sent out to everyone that we have on record as having land in current use. It's a document for them to fill out and send back. And there's also a memo at the end that if they have any questions, that our town assessor is in the office Mondays from 10 to 2, and they can make an appointment to come in to do that. So it sounds like it might have been a while since we've done this. So it may come as new information for someone. The administrative update? You didn't, you've been here for 3 days. Okay.
Boy, I have, yeah, we covered a lot of ground in 3 days. We met with the staff, Alex had a staff meeting the day, his last day was yesterday. So we had a little meeting at the town office there. We also, I'll let you maybe update on the fire department, we had a site visit there, that was my first time seeing the site, and met, with Katie Sutherland at K's BS Architects, to go over some of the proposals for the fire station, so that was interesting. Have some solid proposals there. We didn't make a decision, but we will be probably next week, maybe, next week, I think. Got a tour of a few of the projects around town. DPW Director Joe took me around to just a few after that, and there's a lot going on in Swanzey. So it's awesome. I'm so excited.
How do you fit in your new office? You like it?
I love it.
Got a window?
I love it. The window's great.
Couple of plants.
Yeah, I haven't turned the lights on yet. It's just natural sunlight, and it's awesome. Yeah.
It's your normal radiance, even in the winter.
I love it. It's great. But yeah, today was so my first day solo. Without
Yeah, you was
Alex being
solo.
here. But it wasn't solo. I have like just a team of people. Everybody's great. Everybody's been so welcoming, and we're doing a lot. Actually, Stephon and I, there was an email going around on the North Bridge. What?
Northern Borders.
That one.
Mhm.
Northern Borders. So we had the deadline for the report was today, so we got that taken care of. The Department of Revenue, I think I printed off the MS 535 in here, that needs to be uploaded to the site, so we'll get that taken care of as soon as it's signed. Just a lot of paperwork and a lot of emails. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting into the LRDO email account, but hopefully they can get that taken care of tomorrow. I have some things in there that I need to access.
So today you went in the deep end of the pool.
Oh, yeah. Deep end of the pool.
I think she went in at 8 o'clock Monday morning, Jim.
Oh, yeah, back to but.
But the team is all supporting you, good?
They're amazing. They're very, very blessed.
It's probably a big supporter right there, huh?
Mhm.
I bet.
Yep. We're
Adam's a big team player.
You're gonna see smoke coming off of our heads that we can get so hard.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna take you a while to get
It will,
comfortable.
yeah, and caught up.
Yeah, you can't get overwhelmed, because it's gonna be,
Yeah.
sure. That's great. Good job,
The,
Mark.
we had some information from Southwest Regional Planning with regard to their bylaws and any input that we wanted to make. I think they've got their own board of directors. And we have a couple of members on that board. We're well represented. I think we have our own bylaws. Zoning.
I do not.
Like zoning. You gotta come up with a way to shorten the ballot a little bit.
It's gonna go on.
Yeah, but, you know, we, unfortunately, 8, 9, and 10 wouldn't have passed if it were one person that you guys sent over to us.
Careful now.
Now, be careful,
Careful.
be truthful.
We made adjustments.
Yes, you did.
All right, there's.
I know that's been a concern, the amount of zoning we do every year has been a concern. But there may be more coming up if SB 84 passes, then we're gonna have some work to do there too.
With regard to class 6.
That's a lot sizes, yeah. Though we're not that far off of what they're demanding, but still. You gotta figure out what's 51% of our you know, our rural agriculture, because only 51% can be 3 acres. The rest has to be 2 acres, I think it is,
Or less.
or less. The max we can do is 2.
What?
The most, in other words, the way it reads, I don't know if everybody understands it. A property, residential property that's in sewer or water can't be more than 22 square feet, 22,000 square feet, which we know is a half an acre. Anything that, any other residential area can't be more than 1.5 acres, but then you can only take 51% of the rest of your other ones, like we got 3 acres for rural agriculture, only 51% of that can be 3 acres or more. The rest of it has to be, 49% has to be 2 acres, or 1.5 acres, I forget which one it is. So we have to sit down and look and say, what's 51% of our rural ag that we've got at 3 acres right now? So it's gonna cost the town money, it's gonna cost town and everything, but I think we have to July 26th if the governor signs that bill. And they're not gonna stop there. My fear on that one is, where they're gonna come back now and demand that towns put in water and sewage everywhere. We don't think they can do that, but we didn't think we could do this either.
I can see it first. There's no way they can enforce
Well, this
infrastructure
is-
without contribution.
Well, you know, the House Committee is looking at the history of an evolution of zoning in New Hampshire. And I think next year you're gonna see a lot more bills come out.
Well, then after the election, there'll be a lot of bills coming back to counter.
We tried to get the conversation started about local assistance too, but that didn't go very far with the help of Jen Rose.
Yeah.
But I was gonna look into what that figure was on West Swanzey Apartments, but I never got around to it. We know it's 20%, but what was that dollar figure? And that's not gonna stop in those kind of places. They haven't touched zoning on that before.
We're in public.
Huh?
We're in public comment. So be careful. Anything else before we go into non-public? Motion to go on into their reputation.
So next Thursday is the plan?
Next Thursday.
I'm gonna learn a lot that night, huh?
Send him all that reading.
I gotta buckle down, huh?
Adam, send him all that reading I gave you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Adam. See you, Mike.
Yeah, bye.
We're going under A or
Yeah, it's E, it's a typo.
It says ACC.
So it's the
It's a
same.
good conference.
She's making that.
So,
I'll say
so we're
eight.
literally going in under 3 different, okay. So did you get, something like that? ACP, Jim?
Second.
Or, Lori?
Roll call vote, and then, hot vote for, vote out.
Yes.
Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah.
Did we have anybody online?
There were quite a few, actually. Probably 5, pretty consistently.
Nobody had their hand raised?